is up, guys? Welcome back. Now, Square Enix released the, basically the 7 light questions and the 13 questions of darkness. They're all basically translated, and we wanted to go ahead and jump into that. Some of the stuff that they talk about, we're going to kind of just briefly talk about because, we already know most of the stuff. We're trying to get into the in-depth stuff that might be talking about future projects with Kingdom Hearts. With that being said, if you haven't played Remind yet, there's a lot of stuff on Remind here, and most likely spoilers, so if you haven't played that yet, keep that in mind. If you're fine with that, go ahead and stay. Alright, let's jump into it. So, the first question is, what are the updated contents in version 1.07 free update? With that, we get the Keyblades, Oathkeeper, and Oblivion. They kind of talk about how we get Light Form, and then we also get Dark Form, but you can combine them both to do a double form, which you could dual wield your Keyblades. We all know that about that. That is the free update that we got for Remind last Thursday. Alright, so what was the goal of strengthening photo functions such as the data greeting and slideshow features? So they had this basically, they were testing it, and they ended up seeing that a lot of people would really like that, so they put it in the DLC as a feature because people would definitely love that, and it gives you something else to do in the game that's different, you know what I mean? So they added that to the game because they saw how much people would actually like that. Then the third question was, please tell us about how to enjoy premium menu. Additionally, easy codes aside, what was the intention behind preparing pro codes, which put yourself at a disadvantage? Basically, they talk about the easy codes and pro codes, where you can start it, once you start a new game, you can choose either easy codes or pro codes immediately after the start of a new game. They talk about how easy codes are settings geared towards people who want to move right along in the game, and includes things like auto guard, automatic guard, and pro codes basically include settings for people who want to enjoy the game at a high difficulty level. So even if you play on beginner and you put all your pro codes on, it's still quite difficult. So if you really want to have a challenge, go ahead and do that. If you play on critical and do it, you're a god. I just want to tell you that. I played on critical. I beat it on critical. I could probably beat it on critical with most of the pro codes on. Not all of them. I got to be able to heal. Beginner, I'm doing it with all the pro codes and kind of struggling. So I'm not struggling too bad. It's just the parts when I don't use Sora. That's the only hard parts. But they also say among the easy code achievements, we prepared some curveballs, like one where you must get all the way to the top of the Rapunzel's tower, and that basically you have to literally fly from that tower all the way to the end of the map. It's crazy, but it's not too hard once you get the hang of it. All right, question 4: Are the real Organization 13 that appears during the main game and the real Organization 13 that appears as the Limit Cut boss different, or is it a strengthened version? Which boss puts up a particularly tough fight? So, they are completely different. We created everything anew, including AI and action. There are characters that you must have good defense to beat, characters that you must have good offense to beat, and characters whose movements are just so difficult to read. They all have different strengths and ways to enjoy them. So the characters that are tough to beat differ. Jesus Christ, differ. Depending on the person. However, Xion and Master Xehanort are stronger compared to others. Xion is a fucking beast. I'm telling you, Xehanort ain't shit. Xion is a fucking beast. Okay? She's whooping ass in data battles. In fact, after beating them, my hands kept shaking for about 15 minutes. That is funny because mine didn't shake, but I really just didn't want to play Xehanort after I beat Xion. I was just, fuck this. Question 5. Did the secret boss that Nomura request to be so strong that it makes you cry actually turn out to be so strong that it makes you cry? We took a survey of developers and testers who who had beat the past secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts series thus far, and received a feedback that it is so strong that it makes you cry. Its number of tax patterns is particularly high. It's a secret boss that takes time to figure out how to get past. Spoiler alert, right now, if you don't know this already, Yozora is basically the boss. He will take your Moogle coin. So if you go in there, don't have a fucking Moogle coin, because he will fucking revive. Do not do it. I swear to God. Just fucking run. He's once you get his pattern though, you can beat him. Just don't bring a fucking Moogle coin in there. Question 6. Are there any other parts that were added in Remind? The ending story has been supplemented, and it has an additional scenario, Remind, that allows you to control Kairi, Roxas, Riku, and Aqua, and enjoy new combo actions, and a mode that allows you to enjoy video and music from the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra, limited to the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind Plus Concert video package only. I have that package. The Remind concert is actually really cool. I actually do like it a lot. I didn't get to grace myself with going to one of the concerts, so it's just nice to have that, you know, on screen and an option while I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. So if you guys haven't gotten it yet, you can get that bundle. I think it's pretty cool. Go ahead and do that. Question 7. Finally, please send a message out to all of the fans. So the DLC has been expanded in all its facets, including battle, story, and system. Its contents are made to allow an even deeper enjoyment of Kingdom Hearts 3. We prepared a wide array of contents for many different tastes. Remind for those who want to enjoy the story and new controllable characters. Data greeting and slideshow features for the creative. The limit cut Real Organization 13 for those who want to challenge themselves to a formidable foe, and orchestra video that for those who want to experience a beautiful world of music and images. We hope you give it a try. So that's basically the 7 questions of light. Now we're going to move on to the 13 questions of darkness with director Tetsuya Nomura. Now this is where shit might hit the fan, bro, because he says some shit that will just blow your mind. Okay, he says some shit, man. Okay, so question 1. What is the difference between Remind and Final Mix, which had been released for a previous mainline Kingdom Hearts titles? Okay, so this is actually something I want to know. I haven't really read this yet, so we're going to go ahead and read this. So, the Final Mix versions were released in order to adjust the overall game balance, as well as add new content to the base games. On the other hand, Remind is comprised of content that is somewhat separate from the base game and designed to be enjoyed after completing it. That said, Final Mix staple add-ons, such as the option for English voiceovers in the Japanese version, and limit cut bosses will be included in Remind, so it can be considered as not so different from a Final Mix, with the one exception that no major tweaks have been made to the main game. So basically, this is your Final Mix. They just wanted to change it. And plus, you know, Final Mixes, they came out because basically we didn't have DLC at that time. You couldn't download DLC. We were on PS2, man. Like, that's why. Okay? You just couldn't do it. So that's why they brought out Final Mixes. Question 2. What is the threshold in separating the content for the free version update and Remind the premium DLC? We consider Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remind as different content. As such, we perceive the content of the free version update as part of Kingdom Hearts 3 itself, whereas the content from Remind will add new elements that take place after the main game. As I mentioned before, we will be including some elements that would have previously been made available in a separate Final Mix package as part of Remind. However, some of the content that would usually go in a Final Mix edition, such as new Keyblades and extra abilities, have been provided in the free update as something to aim for when completing the main story. Okay. So, I don't know if I read that wrong. Are they still bringing out like a Final Mix package? Or is they okay? I'll go back to that later. Question 3 is there no possibility of a Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix release in the future? Additionally, might there be a physical version release? All right, this is what I was trying to get at. Okay, there are no specific plans at the moment. We may take that into consideration if new platforms enter the market, but we haven't given thought as to whether it would be released under the Final Mix name, even if it gets to that. Yeah, because we are approaching PlayStation 5, and the thing is that PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, what is it, Scorpio, or what the fuck is it? I don't know. The next Xbox and PlayStation are backwards compatible. You can play these games, so they can't really just re-release games like they used to. You know what I mean? These are basically backwards compatible now, so I don't know what they'll do there. But question 4, where does the additional storyline of Remind fall on the story timeline, and what will we get to see in it? So I already know this because I played this game. I played Remind so many times on my vacation now. Alright, so it says it jumps around the timeline in places, but the main series of events for Sora depicts what took place in the unrevealed time between the final battle of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the ending when Kairi was rescued. The player will have a more all-encompassing view of events that Sora himself does. So in Remind, Sora gets to follow the story from a detached and overarching perspective, unlike in the main game. It says it is a bit tricky to explain, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is a complete self-contained story in its own right, and the link through to the ending of the Remind is only made possible because of the ending the main game has. Question 5. Are there any impact or changes to the original storyline of Kingdom Hearts 3? There are no changes to the original storyline of Kingdom Hearts 3, and no impact on the player either, as they will start playing through Remind after they complete the base game. Okay, we're going to try to... Okay, so this basically is talking about Remind. I want to see if they actually go into more depth about other things. So, what is the highlight? Question 7 was, what is the highlight of the Limit Cut bosses? Which character would you want players to keep an eye out for? So, he basically said, I had already decided that the Limit Cut boss lineup would be comprised of the members of Real Organization 13, but as the development progressed, I started to feel conflicted as whether to keep Xion as one of the bosses or not. Which is, I was kind of thinking the same way when I was playing. I said, why is Xion a fucking boss? But it makes sense. So, here we go. However, by the time I mentioned my intentions of possibly removing Xion to Mr. Yasui? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, man. I'm so fucking sorry. She was oh, it's a girl. It's a fucking girl, man. Oh, no. She was already in development. So, Xion was already in development. I was like, god damn. Alright. With this background in mind, I'd like the players to experience their own inner turmoil when they take on Xion. She's quite a tough boss to beat, and he is not lying. She is quick as shit, and she goes into like this little ball of light, and she just whips around, and she just starts smacking you the fuck around like you're a piñata, bro. I'm telling you, if you haven't beaten that boss yet, or if you haven't gotten to that point, you'll know what we're talking about. When you see Xion, get the fuck out of there, okay? Question 8, you initially mentioned adding in the equivalent of another world into the game, but there seems to have been a change in direction. There was actually a new world we wanted to add that we worked on planning and designing, but I personally could not square the logic of cutting out just that world and adding it on later. I felt that it would ultimately be better to have it as a candidate for inclusion from the start in the next game. For Remind, I decided to go with adding them in multiple new elements, which add up to a volume of new content that is actually greater than a single new world would be. Creating this many bosses was particularly hard work. And I thought that this was actually pretty unique, this question, and his answer was pretty unique. You know, he had a world that he wanted to put in, but they kind of had to cut it out. So I'm just guessing and assuming that he's talking about Shibuya. But who knows? I mean, I really wanted to see, not Hollow Bastion, but Radiant Guardian, Radiant Garden. I really wanted to go there and actually communicate with, um, you know, all the Final Fantasy characters, but we can only stay in Merlin's house. You know, Square, why did you do me like that, bro? Like, why? Can you share some details regarding the secret boss in episode? Now, this is what I was really basically wanting to read this all for. There's all this type of stuff. We already know what's in the DLC. This is where it gets good. Can you share some details regarding the secret boss in episode? I put my ideas of how the secret boss in episode will lead the way for the next installment into it, and although it is probably not possible to work out what that will be from the details that have already been released, even though it might just look like you can. Additionally, some of the battle construction itself was quite different to what I ordered. I was surprised, and so decided to go down this route this time around. Okay, I don't know. Reading that out loud was kind of confusing to me at the beginning. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I was kind of like getting fucked up over that. Question 10 is the dialogue from the beginning of the first Kingdom Hearts game is in the final trailer. Can you tell us about this? And it was a piece of dialogue that I wanted to revisit and address if the opportunity to do so ever came around. It probably doesn't make any sense, but at the time, the world of Kingdom Hearts was approved as a result of including that line. The mystery doesn't fully unravel with this, but I feel it brings us to the gateway. See, this is the type of shit he talks like what gateway, man? What fucking gateway? Nomura, what are you trying to tell us, bro? Are you planning further updates and DLCs in the future? Man, I know they're going to say no. There are no expected updates planned as of now, but if something arises in the future, I believe we would work to address it. As far as DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 goes, Remind will be the first and last. We have already moved on to the next project. What do you mean, Nomura? So what does that mean? Obviously right here he's saying we started on the next project. They're already on Final Fantasy VII Remake, so this means that they're probably already started on Kingdom Hearts 4, or the next installment could be something between 3 and 4, like how they always do their Kingdom Hearts games. But we're just gonna have to sit it out and see. These are the questions I wanted to read and get the answers for. I swear, I'm so happy that we kind of got a next project confirmed. Please don't let this be Project Xehanort that you're talking about, man. That is a mobile experience. Question 12. Would you be able to share, if any, plans for the future of the Kingdom Hearts series? Oh my god, yes. We will need some more time to make another traditional main series style Kingdom Hearts game, but there was a surprising announcement from the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross team last week. On top of that, we also have 2 new teams working on different projects separate from Remind and Union Cross, and one of those games is coming out earlier than you would think. The title screen for Remind lays some of the groundwork for it. What? Bro, hold up. So basically they're talking about Project Xehanort. He's basically saying, okay, they're going to need some time to work on the next traditional main series, Kingdom Hearts. We get that. But he's announcing that Kingdom Hearts Union Cross announced the mobile game. So to me, I feel like this... Okay. That kind of confirms my video from the other day, or yesterday. If Union Cross is the one that basically announced this, and they're not saying that they announced it, like Square themselves. Okay. I might make a video just on this fucking question from now on. So I'm glad I actually read through this. But what they're basically talking about is Project Xehanort. So, while they're just saying, hey, while you guys wait for the next game to come out, you can play Project Xehanort. If if you're not into Union Cross, wait for Project Xehanort, and maybe we'll shut down Union Cross. I don't know. I'm tripping balls again. I'm sorry. Question 13. Finally, is there anything you'd like to say to the fans? And he basically says, after work on Kingdom Hearts 3, finished, several things happened and there was some internal restructuring, so I am very sorry to have kept everyone waiting longer than initially expected. And remind, we have been proactive in adding in new elements that give players enjoyment from playing around and exercising their creativity. It is easy to be drawn to the story, but most of the time spent developing this expansion was actually focused on adding the new battles and mechanics changes. We hope players really enjoy these kinds of merciless challenges that you can only really do as DLC. We also greatly expanded the sharing features of Kingdom Hearts 3, unlocking pretty much everything. Yasui, I really hope that's his name, man. I keep fucking that shit up. I know I'm butchering this man's name. Has been saying that he wants to see everyone's secret battle videos. So we have opened that up as far as we can too. See if you can take these fearsome foes down. And of course, eventually one day I'll make my videos of the daily bosses. I beat them multiple times now. I just haven't recorded them. I haven't even finished the recording of the DLC for you guys, and I beat it like 6 times. I am sorry. I'm fucking horrible. I love you guys. I'm so sorry. That's basically the 13 questions of darkness. That's basically it. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below, okay? Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys... did you guys catch something in there that I didn't see? Or, like, what was your favorite part about these questions? Tell me in the comments down below. Remember to leave this video a huge like, subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, we're doing a bunch of giveaways. The only way to have a chance at any of our giveaways, and make sure you're subscribed by hitting that subscribe button down below. If you want to join the WayFinders Union Cross groups, and okay, before I go, okay, not just Union Cross groups, but in preparation for Project Xehanort, if you don't play Union Cross and you're wanting to play Project Xehanort and it has a party system, you can still join the WayFinders Discord, man. Go ahead. Click that link down below. You can meet everybody and then talk to everybody, and we can set you up in one of our Union Cross groups, or you can sit there and wait for Project Xehanort to come out and join our group from there. It's going to be fun, I'm telling you. So that's an option for you guys. Also down there is a bunch of links to other channels. The channels are actually the content creators in the WayFinders, so if you want to go check out those guys, you can go ahead and do so. And my Patreon is also linked down there as well. Patreon isn't necessary, but it does help me bring more types of Kingdom Hearts content when it comes to arts and crafts, building keyblades, props from Kingdom Hearts, all the art stuff kind of helps me fund those videos. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Before I go, one last thing. The Project Xehanort isn't the actual name of the Kingdom Hearts next mobile game, okay? They will be announcing that name on January 30th, and they're also giving away like 10 giveaways of like $100 or so on Twitter. So, and for those of you that actually guessed, like tried to guess the name, I was one of them. If I win, I will tell you guys. It'll be amazing if I did, because I'm fucking broke now. So, it would be amazing. Square, please let me just win something, please. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching, and let your hearts be your guiding keys. Bye.